Um, this one's caught my attention on the. You guys have heard me say earlier. The Patreon levels. One of them asks questions, and uh, what does it mean to be a man? What are some things all men should know how to do? Something about the first half of that question, what it means to be a man. And I don't know that I crush it on this, but there's a certain amount of self-reliance that to me defines manhood, right? And that could be self-reliance in our real world, having to do with like supporting yourself and being your own guy and not depending on someone else to be you. And or it could be some other thing like
Accountability, I think, is what
dropping some guy in almost any environment and they're being capable of dealing with it to me is like a part of manhood, right? If your freaking luggage is lost and you're a helpless little bitch, then that I'm dinging your manhood. I'm pulling your man card on that. Um, you should be able to, to like figure out your way through the world.
I agree with much of that. I think it goes beyond what you can do, and I lost my whole train of thought. God damn it! No.
a man wouldn't have. Yeah.
So I was talking about being lost. I was talking about self-reliance. I was talking about not depending on other people.
It's taking personal responsibility for things. It's manning up to things, if you will.
Okay.
I think that's a big one. I think it's someone who can admit when they've done wrong, who can admit when they are wrong.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think that's a little bit of a part of it. For some reason, I feel like there's some things you need to be able to do. Like, you should be able to change your own fucking tire. Like, there's no excuse for you being like, getting a flat and being like, oh, I hope I can call some nice, strong man to help me. Because that's what a lot of you people out there do.
That's
you just
not
pretend
necessarily
like
like a skill anymore, though. You can just Google that wherever you are.
You think so?
Like, you don't have to know how to change a tire in the moment. Like, I have before, and I didn't have to Google it. But if you need to, like,
I don't know, man.
It's
I
not too hard.
think there's a lot of people that if you put them out there for the first time doing it, they'd really struggle, and it might take them an hour to change a tire, and then they might die because they didn't get it back on all the way.
or they get hit while on their side of the road.
That's
Like
much
that.
much more likely.
That's
Yeah,
the more
that
common
happens.
way.
Yeah.
Well, I think manhood all comes down to bacon and Old Spice and the Expendables 3 and, everything else that's sold to us. I don't know. I totally agree with you. It really comes down to accountability, I think, and I guess like autonomy in your emotions, if that makes sense. An ability to, take some shit or a bad external situation and not immediately let it impact you and kind of be like, all right, let's slow this down. Let's make a plan and move from here. Not letting yourself get too flustered, if that makes sense. But, that's not to say that if something shitty happens and you get flustered, you're suddenly not masculine or something. Nobody's perfect all the time, but it's just the way you handle problems, I would think.
I really think of I think of people who have like manned up in situations, like guys who have gotten girls pregnant at a young age, and we're like, oh, time to throw away the baseball glove and bat because it's time to be a man now. It's like no more games, and that's what I've been avoiding my whole fucking life because I've seen
That sounds horrible.
Right? I'll never forget my brother-in-law got my half sister knocked up when she was like 18 or 19 or something like that, and it was like I didn't go to the wedding, but I saw the wedding photos and we were talking about it, and I was just like, even as a kid then, and I mean I was 12, I was like, his shit is ruined. He's fucked. He's fucked now. He's about to have twins. He's 18. He's got nothing to his name. He's lucky enough that his father has this business that maybe he can intern at some and learn like work his way up the ladder, but he's got nothing, and he worked his ass off. He worked hard. I've told the story before. He got multiple jobs.
Tell it. I love this story.
Yeah, so he got to support my sister, right? Twins are on the way. He's 18, she's 19, something like that. He worked for his father at a rock quarry, hard, many more hours than he normally would, or anyone else did, working like 12-hour days. And that was taking up all of his time Monday through Friday. So he got a new job, pressure washing houses on the weekend. He went and bought himself a pressure washer for a few $100s, put ads out there, advertised everywhere, and he would travel around on the weekends and pressure wash houses all day. And he'd do it at night after work if he had time. He worked nonstop and save up enough money to get a family started. And he kept doing it. And at this point, they're very well off. Like both of them took to that, started working hard, and now they have a chain of daycares. Like, I don't know how you get from point A to point B. I guess I do, but it's not a fun story. But Now they have a chain of businesses that they own together, and they're very successful with it. They do very, very well for themselves. I don't know if either of you know what it costs to put a child in daycare all day, but it's really fucking expensive. Like, I've been there before and seen how many kids they've got, and they got multiple locations, and I'm just like, fucking 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, a grand. Like, there's a grand right there. Like, it really adds up. So, yeah, worked hard. And he could have very easily, and you see it happen all the time, and maybe I'm not. At 18, I don't know what I would have done. Maybe if I'd loved the girl, I think I know what I would have done if I'd loved the girl. But if I'd made a mistake at 18, I don't know what I would have done. But I know what he did. And he definitely went the be a man route and worked his ass off until it.
I would have become Taylor Juarez from Albuquerque.
So you guys haven't seen my video today, but I talk about, basically I'm like, wealth inequality is fair, right? Different people put different amounts in, you get different amounts out. There are opportunities, especially if you live in like a first world country, you can make a thing happen. And I made this video, how to get rich in 22 years. And the feedback from it, a lot of it was like, well, I don't know. Use 10% as your interest rate. I think 9.5 would be better. It's like, dude, your problem is not 9.5 versus 10%. Your problem is you did nothing. You didn't invest at all. And you're sitting here finding reasons why you shouldn't have, trying to poke holes in something instead of doing a thing. And a lot of people, one guy even said, well, I'm a white male, so what do I know, right? It's fucking awesome. And but then I look at this guy who like got a job at the quarry, I guess with his dad, that helped a lot. And then he leveraged that into buying like a pressure washer, and then he goes from the pressure washer to the next step. Now he owns a chain of daycares. These opportunities.
Before you know it, he has a red paperclip.
These opportunities are out there. Most people just don't buy pressure washers and drum up business for themselves and create enterprises out of nothing. But the opportunities are there. It didn't take any special instruction to become a pressure washer. So anyway, that stories like that are really. Remember I talked about how multiple languages, musicians, they're just magic to me. Entrepreneurs like that, I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who just like.
And
I can do it.